Princes William and Harry have paid tribute to their grandfather, the Duke of Edinburgh, describing him as a man of service and great humour. But the statements from the feuding brothers came separately as royal watchers wait to see if Prince Philip's funeral will help to heal their rift. Joining me now live is royal commentator Annabelle Sanderson. Annabelle, thank you for joining me. Prince Harry has now arrived in London. This will be the first time he is reunited with the family since that Oprah interview.
Yes, exactly. This is the first time he's been back on UK soil for some time now. I think since about since the Commonwealth ceremony in Westminster Abbey, where the reception between the different members of the royal family was quite frosty, I'd say. So because Prince Charles has made his statement now, it's appropriate for William and Harry to make their statements. They were both obviously very fulsome of praise of their grandfather, who obviously played a massive part in their lives, but they were quite different. William's was much more formal, I'd say, made a big point of talking about the role that Prince Philip played in the Duchess of Cambridge's life as well, and how close they were. Harry's was much more relaxed, talking about, the grandfather in charge of the barbecue. So it's nice that they've both now officially made their statements, all in line with royal protocol. But of course, now all eyes are on Harry in the UK without his wife as we prepare for the funeral at the weekend.
Yeah, and you mentioned in that statement from the Duke of Cambridge, he said, "Catherine and I will continue to do what he would have wanted and will support the Queen in the years ahead." Do you think, Annabelle, that this may have been a subtle dig at Meghan?
And possibly Harry as well. I remember when I was working on with the Royal British Legion on D-Day 65, and it was when the Queen the French had forgotten to invite the Queen to the remembrance events in France. And the subtlety of the statement that came out of Buckingham Palace, it's always what they don't say rather than what they do say. In this instance, they were very much, we will continue with our role, which is, we're in a very privileged position. Prince Philip was always about duty, always about supporting the Queen. And whilst Philip would have wanted Harry to do what made him happy, I'm sure he would have been very disappointed that he stepped back and moved to America.
There is also reports this morning that Meghan told friends privately that she didn't want to go to Prince Philip's funeral because she didn't want to be the centre of attention. Do you think that there is any truth to those claims?
I think the phrase "when in a hole, stop digging" sprang to mind when I read that. Of course, no names are attributed to this. It could be that a friend said it. It could not be true that she hasn't come out and backed them up, and neither have any spokespeople. Certainly, I think her presence would have been a distraction. I'm not sure that many people read the statement and perhaps were as generous as she might have hoped regarding things like the special bond that apparently she said her and Philip shared. I think I've said before, I think it's probably best that she didn't come over to the funeral. I think it would have been a distraction. I think it's really important. Harry is now, I think he's staying in London. He's very close to his brother and his sister-in-law. Now is the time to try and make some repairs to a damaged relationship. Of course, what might be on people's minds is that when they made a phone call after the interview aired, one of the American journalists that Meghan is known to be friends with apparently went on television and reported what was said. If that kind of thing happens, that will be very bad news for any relationship between Harry and the rest of the royal family. This has to be a time when they come together, heal the rift, remember their grandfather. And I don't think this can't be anything to do with the wives now. This is very much about Prince Philip.